All right. We are officially live. Let's bring the
Fire
homies
is
in on
for
this.
cooking. The smithy would probably be out by the stables.
Alrighty. We are officially live. Welcome to the Ilderon Tales. This is a new group tonight. Group F, their first session, episode 1, and we will give everybody a chance to do a character introduction. So, we'll go from the top of Discord and then move down, and then we'll jump right into it. So, first up, we have Anthony playing. This is why I made character cards. Yeah, Milani, and you can, introduce yourself, your character, and then as much as you want to say about them, then we'll move on straight down the list on Discord.
This is me slowly taking over Brandon's world. I'm playing Milani. He is a Earth Genasi Paladin of Vengeance. And this is going to be interesting to me.
Alright, in September?
Being Aryeya Ogun, a young half-elf bard. And this is first for me as well.
And Eric.
My character is Yalmar Dash, dumber than he wants to believe, and he is beautiful and very proud of it.
Prettier than the bard.
Prettier than everyone. And I love my glowing shovels. They make me whole. And he's a dumb fighter and very beautiful though. So
how long have you been waiting to throw out they make me whole?
Oh, I've been waiting. I've been saving that one for a rainy day.
Alright, Rob?
Well. Thank you.
I play Morgan Darbahari, a water genocide from the Low Lakes. She is a forge druid. And, you just get to deal with how weird that sounds when you say it out loud.
And, Shelby.
My character's name is Nyoka. He is a lizard folk that comes from the north area of where we're at. And he has a Wookiee life debt to Rob's character, Morgan.
Alright. So, and before we get started tonight, I want to say one thing. Just looking at the character sheets for Yomar and Nyoka, just how you guys wrote your backstory. For anybody who's been watching for a lot of time, I call my DM folder that I keep all of my notes for the campaign on my Google Drive. Me DM good is the and I don't feel like that's any more appropriate than for this group with both of those characters. But anyways, opening me DM good into and jumping into tonight. So we are joining this group on the shores of a town called Lochliel. What it's actually called is the Lochliel Coast. And I'm going to move you guys to a better, less congested map. And Lochliel Coast is a town on a cay just outside of Beechwood Retreat. There's lots of these little towns around Beechwood Retreat. Beechwood Retreat is a huge merchant town inside of a region known as the Clutch. The Clutch is a lawless region of Galkin. No one government has control over this area, and as such, there's lots of people constantly clashing for power in this region, and these huge kind of free cities have popped up in the region with all these little towns and villages that surround them. And normally one big faction has control over one of these huge cities. The town Beechwood Retreat is controlled by the Ruby Alliance, also known as the Merchants of the Ruby. So our story starts in Lochliel in the month of Priestess, on the 15th of Priestess. It is you guys are on the decline of winter. So as the winter rain sung, lights in the seaside town of Lochliel slowly began to fade. Torches and town lanterns were extinguished as the inhabitants prepared to rest through the tempestuous night. Lochliel was a pleasant enough town. It was one of the many villages that dotted the landscape around the massive port city of Beechwood Retreat. Many mercenary guilds. Anthony, I'm getting some feedback from you every time I speak. I'm going to turn you down a little bit.
Sorry, is that any better?
I don't know. Let's see. Yes. All right. So, many mercenary guilds and less than well-off merchants made their living out of these small cities, often taking contracts from the wealthy merchant lords of the Ruby Alliance that resided in Beechwood Retreat. Lochliel was a beautiful seaside suburb of sorts, with nearly a dozen different mercenary guilds calling the town home. Bells chimed across the city. The alarming bells rang from the Still Cabal's guild tower. The Cabal were a group of bounty hunters that helped keep order in the lawless city. Lochliel, as pleasant as it was, still suffered from the same problems that plagued every city in the clutch. A lack of a unified government in the region meant every city was susceptible to bandits and pirate raids. Spies from the Galena Maeve constantly moved through the region, stealing treasures from adventurers who were brave enough to journey into the ruins that littered the region. Any mercenaries that were strong enough to claim a stretch of territory were normally forced to yield to the clashing political giants in the region. However, the Cabal's bells meant one thing: there was a bounty on the loose. They were hunting someone valuable who didn't belong in Lochliel. Most guilds nodded along to the Cabal's request, not wanting to be on the bad side of the bounty hunters. Every business and guild hall closed and locked their doors, but there was one building with torches still alight. A group of mercenaries rumored to often help a lucky few, no matter the situation. The door of the Silver Tree's guild house flew open. Winter wind swept into the hearth room as a rain-soaked woman in a hooded robe and a hooded dark blue cloak stood in the doorway. She looked at each member of the Silver Tree with silent but serious pleading eyes. The bounty bells rang in the distance, echoing over the city. She needed to hide someplace quick, otherwise a few individuals were about to get significantly heavier pockets if they subdued her and turned her over to the Cabal. This is where their story begins. Alright, let's get some music appropriate for the tone.
You're dripping all over the leather. What are you doing?
Wait. Here. Press the digitation.
To dry?
To dry her off, yes.
Alright. So, standing before you guys, you guys have already seen this picture as it's on the document. The woman is going to look at you guys and look back out onto the street and say, "Quick, I need some place to hide. Are you friends of the Cabal or not?"
Arya would look around at the rest in the room and pause a moment.
Kaji, should I throw her?
Yolmar says, "Tell me what to do."
She says,
"Close the door, first of all. Let's close the door."
She is going to rush and close the door. When Yolmar says, "Tell me what to do," she says, "Say nothing of my presence." She's going to run through the guild hall, now dried, and you guys are going to see her panic through a few rooms, opening doors until she finds one that's unlocked, and hide in it, closing the door.
My character
Hey yo!
turn to
What are you doing in
Morgan.
Brock's room? What are you doing in it? What are you doing here?
My character's gonna turn to Morgan and go, "You want me to throw her out, boss?"
Now let's find out what is happening first, shall we? Arya would go to the door and knock on it.
She is, as, you knock on the door, you hear her, call back, but it's kind of drowned out, of her talking. There are hoof prints, kind of like an entire, I'm gonna turn this down just a little bit. There we go. Kind of like an entire hunting party, arriving outside of your guys' guild halls, and she's going to call back, stepping into the room, immediately you don't really... Oh, well, yeah, you're knocking on the door. She's going to call back and say, "The Cabal's hunting me. I just need a few minutes here, for them to lose my trail." And that's about all that gets communicated before there's another knock on your guys' guild house, on the door of your guild house. This knock comes, much more pleasant, not just throwing the door open, looking side to side and everything's like, whoever it is are waiting for you guys to let them in.
Milani will go to the door to answer it, but he's going to signal back to
Yolmar's rushing forward and saying, "Don't be knocking on my door like that."
Arya is going to pull a chair up next to the door the girl is in and start filing her nails.
All right. You guys open the door, and standing before you, still, same deal. This person is also cloaked. They have a kind of a chainmail shirt thrown over their cloak, less as armor and kind of more like more as a uniform. They have a green gilded cloak with a yellow brim around it. And under it, you guys can see you can see the face of what? Oh gosh, sorry. You can see the face of what looks to be a young woman, who you guys would recognize as the Steel Ranger Rayin. For the most part, she handles the bounties put out by the Steel Cabal for people here in town. Standing in the rain, there are 5 people with her. She's going to bow to Yomar. Open the door. She's going to bow to Yomar and say, "Master Dash, may I come in this evening?"
"You're dripping wet. I don't want you here." I'm dumb. I'm telling you.
Yeah. So she's going to look back at her. She's going to look back at her whole brigade of or her whole company with her, and say, "We're looking for a dangerous woman. Killed 2 people down by the Portmasters Guild tonight."
I don't know anything about that. And I'll just kind of shrug and kind of start closing the door.
She's going to put a hand on the door and say, "I know this guild has a reputation for harboring the lessers. However, I don't blame Lady Nyless for her vices. But please keep in mind this isn't Heimsdale or Beechwood Retreat. A single pirate raid in the night could wipe us off the map. A single crack in the foundation could cause our entire town to crumble."
You are chasing a single woman, supposedly?
She looks at you, looks at Arya and nods and says, "Yes, the Cabal hunts those we see fit with relentless vigor." She looks,
What does this woman look like? Perhaps we can help you.
She's gonna say a long stretching brand on her right arm. Red hair, likely covered in scars and blood.
Well, this must have just happened. Red hair lighter or darker than mine?
She's going to inspect Aryea's hair and say darker, at least by the moon's light.
Good to know, good to know.
Ooh. And if Yomar is still not letting her in, she's going to remove her arm off of the door and say, "May you find your presence in the hierarchy," nodding to Yomar.
If we see this person, who do we send word to?
She is going to say, "Come to the Still Cabal's quarters on the north or on the east side of town." Marking that on your guys' map, the Still Cabal is one of the largest guilds in the town. They pretty much occupy the entire eastern part of town.
Very well. If we see something, we will pass word along.
I don't know why you're so upset. I just don't want you in here because you're wet.
She can't cast a dry expression towards Yomar and bows and says, "Master Daish," and turns and mounts her horse.
Aryeya gives a polite little wave.
She leaves.
I'm a little disappointed I didn't get to fight her.
Well,
she probably would have wrecked my world, but all the same, I'm kind of mad.
5 soldiers in Ardora. This is not an evening for battle.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
this is why we need to lock the door once in a while.
I'll just go back to my leather work. You guys can deal with her.
The woman is going to come out of the room that she's been hiding in. You're going to feel the door hit against the chair once before you see a set of eyes peeking from behind it. And she's going to look at everybody in the room and say, "I owe you a kindness that can't be paid in gold."
Oh, I'm sure we can put a number on it, but let us have your story first, shall we?
She's going to... You're going to see her eyes just kind of go side to side for a moment. She, steps into the main hearth room and say, "I'm just a traveler who got on the bad side of a merchant. I'm sorry for inconveniencing you all this evening."
I can tell you this right now. A person getting on the bad side of a merchant wouldn't result in that kind of a response. So,
are you good at killing things?
What is everybody's passive perception?
Aryeya is 14.
14, okay. And how about Yomar and Morgan?
Oh, sorry, 14.
Okay, and Nyoka?
And those, I don't even know what I rolled. But
13.
14. Yeah, it's...
Okay.
Wow, I'm actually not terrible at that.
So, those with 14 are going to be able to tell there's kind of a hump underneath her cloak on her right side. Just, a small one, near her hips, giving her, a little bit of extra, girth you wouldn't expect from underneath it. That said, you guys can tell, those with 14 can tell she's concealing something.
Are you good at killing something? Are you good at killing things?
Does a 15 happen to be, just 1 point high enough to yield something more? Or not the same tier?
A 15? Yeah, you'd be on the same tier.
Okay.
You know, you have had a rough evening. I think it would be unwise to rush out so quickly. Have a seat. Let us get to know you just a little bit. We have, after all, put our necks out for you.
What's your name? I'm Yomar.
She's gonna take the seat. Just kind of like a little, taken by surprise by the hospitality. And
I'm a puppy right now. I'm on puppy status.
and she's going to nod and say, Elmira. And as she sits down, again, you guys are going to see her cloak folding over, whatever this is on her side. Just giving it a little bit more of a cylinder shape.
Elmira, what a lovely name. Now tell us, are you a thief, a murderer? What has the city so in a row for you?
She's going to shake her head and say, ain't no murderer. They just... those dock workers just got on the wrong side of my sword.
It happens to everyone. No, that happened to me last week. I accidentally just saw on a sword that last week.
Completely understandable. Dock workers can be so brash. But why don't you tell us what happened?
She's going to be hesitant, and then she's going to continue and say, well, I took the Light's Virtue into town. Arrived at the docks early this morning, looking for work from the port master. From there, he enlisted me into loading cargo onto the small ferries heading into Beechwood Retreat. The other two workers just didn't like that I got placed in such a position and just blowing into town in one day. They started harassing me this evening, and then that's when I did what I had to do.
Alright.
Arya would look her over and kind of linger her eyes on that bulge under the cloak and then look her in the eyes.
You can roll me an insight check.
Alright.
All of us are just Arya.
That was for Arya. But if anybody wants to challenge her statement, you're welcome to.
I was about to ask, actually.
Instead, could I do a check to see if she has any cool weapons? That'd just be a...
Yeah, it would just be perception.
Perception. Where is my darn perception thing on here? Oh, there it is. My bad.
All right, and I'm waiting. Okay.
It fits my character. Unless you have something cool, I can't find it.
Both Milani and Arya are going to see through her statement, particularly it adding up for Arya until she mentions what she mentions about the Dockmaster. The Dockmaster is a very shrewd man who keeps rigorous tabs on everything coming in and out of the dock, including people, and that is not somebody's trust that is earned lightly. That's kind of like a hole in her story. And for Milani, he's just generally going to know, people, specifically, bandits will say anything to, get out of trouble and blow into the next city. This is kind of what it's adding up to for him. In both cases, you guys beat her deception check.
Alright, Milani's just gonna walk up to her, look her square in the eye, and say, "We've been nothing but nice for you since you walked into our door randomly. Now you either start talking to us as if we were with the truth, or we're going to be making a stop down at our other guild halls. Do I make myself clear?"
Yeah, there are other ways, of course, to get truth, too. Arya just smiles and continues to file her nail.
I'm going to... So you're... Once again, statements are going to have... the statements themselves are going to have effect. The magnitude of which, though, I will let you choose to roll a intimidation check. With the...
I love intimidating.
From, Arya. Well, this is for Milani. Or a persuasion check. With help from Arya.
So both would be advantage. They're both the same roll. I'm going to go intimidation because that's what I was kind of leaning towards with my statements.
All right, go for it. Woo!
It's only rolling single. You want me to roll it a second time, see if I get a better?
Yeah, roll. You have advantage on it.
Oh my god!
Oh man.
Okay, so you're going.
I can't figure out how to. I can't figure out how to set this thing to roll twice.
Oh,
so...
There's a setting for it.
Yeah, I'm going to open your character sheet real quick, and I can show you. So at the top of your sheet right here, you see where it says public to GM, advantage, disadvantage. If you click advantage, it will roll it twice. And then if you click normal, it'll roll it once. If you click disadvantage, it'll roll it with disadvantage and tell you what you get.
Okay. So I'll just keep it on advantage, so I find it easier to have the two rolls next to each other.
Okay. Yeah, so you're going to step up on her and, just, say that we've been nothing but nice. We'll take, otherwise, we'll take you down to the Steel Cabal's guild house. And, she's going to straighten up because... there's no laws for her to, kind of fall back on right now to protect her. And she's gonna say, "Fine, I'm a thief. I stole from the portmaster." And she's
Anything
going
cool?
to... And, yeah, so before she even, finishes her statement, she's going to look at Yomar and... pull out the cylinder that she has at her waist from under her cloak. It looks like a scroll case of sorts. And she says records, schedules of boats coming in and out of the port.
Oh, that's boring. But shiny.
That's an awful strange thing for a lone woman to steal just for herself.
She's gonna nod along to that, then look through the room and saying, "You're an awful few strange individuals yourselves."
Who are you calling strange?
She's gonna...
Gilmar, some of the swords need to be polished.
Okay, I'll go...
on a couple of the ones in the back.
I'll go polish my sword.
She's going to stand up and say, "I feel the fewer questions we ask about each other, the smoother the night will be for all of us." And she's going to walk to the front of your guys' guild hall, just kind of looking out over the town streets. The bells are still ringing, while the sounds of horses and Ranger Rayin's party has gotten further away. You guys can still hear them, echoing through the street and against the buildings, as they're still moving business to business, trying to find her.
How did you spell her name, by the way?
Rain or Elmira?
Elmira.
Elmira.
And the other one too, maybe.
And the other one is Steel Ranger Rain.
Thank you.
No problemo.
You'll realize soon enough that Brandon's spelling of names
Is annoying.
it's like it's the bane of existence.
Man, wait till you meet my twin sister.
After this, we'll show you the certain character in Group B.
Oh no, I've
now.
shown her already.
Raheem's my favorite.
Raheeman. Brandon, just for old time's sake, please say Raheeman's full name.
I think I have it memorized now. Raheeman Radafil Hillen Anthelar Lauren Dixel. I have to say
Beautiful.
it slow, I can't say it fast.
It's
Round
spelled
of applause
exactly
for
like
Brandon.
Well done.
it's spelled exactly like it sounds.
Alright, so as she moves towards the front door, Ariea would glide up alongside her. Just not making any aggressive motions, just kind of keeping at pace in case she decides to bolt.
Okay, she is, going to, she's gonna look at, Ariea. Just inspect her, up and down. You see her, eyes just, kind of moving over her as like a mental, scan. And it's a very uncomfortable look. It's not like a, what's going on. It's like, it's a full attention type of thing. And then she, turns around and leans her head back towards the window, saying nothing.
Yeah, Ariea doesn't seem to mind. She just leans against the wall next to her.
Milani's gonna walk
I
over.
literally walked off the polished boards.
What was that, Anthony?
I said Milani's gonna walk over to Morgan
Okay.
and just be like, "So what do we want to do with her, boss?"
She needs a bath.
She's clean already, right?
Let's try. I
If
just
you can just
clean
dry her, it wouldn't do
She
anything
just,
but the
she
grind.
just got a shower.
Oh, yeah. You can press to digitate grime off of. Let me change something on her sheet, because she's going to be looking much more pleasant. There we go.
Oh my god, is she gonna join Hot Squad?
Yeah. Yeah,
Hot
not
Squad.
not Hot Squad, but also
She's not below average.
Mhm.
At least she's.
She cleans up good.
Nyoka's gonna turn to Morgan and go, "You want me to fetch Bucket to shower her?"
Morgan will hold out a hand to be like, "No, please."
Okay.
Remember the last time we let Morgan do something like this?
I just offered a bucket, so I don't know what you're trying to say.
My point is, if we let her stay here, we're running the chance of going at arms with some of the others in this town.
And if she goes, she won't survive the night. So,
Is that really our concern in this matter?
I guess that's the question we all need to answer.
No, I think our concern is exactly how much are we charging her for these services.
I do like shiny.
She's going to look back at you guys and say, the bounty's for 800 gold. My employer will pay you 1,000.
Ooh.
Well,
I'll come back wielding my shining shovel as I just came back from polishing it, and say, "I heard something about money."
Another hand's coming out to be like, shush.
I have a big smile on my face. This isn't intimidating. I like money.
Well, now that is a proposition. Perhaps you should stay away from the windows a bit.
She's going to walk back in the room and say, "Oof, I'm sorry, this just got me all on edge. Not used to this like you land folk."
Landsfolk?
I'm a little water person.
She's gonna
I do not
nod
understand.
and say, yes, but you make your living on the shore. I'm more of a fan of boats myself. There's something calming about the ocean.
Oh, there is. The ocean is quite lovely. Have you been on it long?
She exhales and says, more so these past few years than any in my life, but her statement trails off there.
It was not so many years ago. I was on the ocean myself. And then she'd motion over to the fellow that was about to say something.
Oh no, I was actually just about to ask Brandon. Can we tell what race she is or no?
Yeah, looking at her, it's hard to tell what's magic and what's not. From what you can tell after Aryea's cleaning, she actually kind of sparkles a little bit. There's a gleam just to her overall aura. For the most part, she looks human, as if touched by a celestial.
Can I, knowing Primordial, would I recognize the rune or anything?
Oh, you cannot see the brand on her arm. She is still covered underneath her cloak.
Oh, okay.
What you guys can tell is just from her face. That description was for ASMR. They look like humans who glow and shine in light.
So a woman of the sea steals documents about the comings and goings at port. I could see how this might be valuable to a certain sort of employer.
She's gonna nod.
Are you trying to rob us?
What Aryea's statement, she's gonna nod and say, and if you are putting together who I am, then it's best for your town if I just get out of here as soon as possible. No more bloodshed needed. She winks with a small smile on her face.
Milani's gonna look back at Morgan. Are we expecting any shipments?
Are we expecting any shipments?
No. You guys don't do business as far as imports in the dock go. Most of the stuff that you guys would do here, as far as with your blacksmiths and your mercenaries, would be caravan work and forging goods and swords for the other guilds in town.
Yeah, I didn't know if we were expecting a shipment of any metals or supplies for the forge.
You guys can order some.
That's more or less what I was wondering. If we had ordered any that were supposed to be coming in.
As of right now, your guys' guild is caught up.
Okay.
Alright, so who is Ariea's immediate superior in the room here?
Is it me?
Well, you guys are all of the guild's important decision makers, as far as the ones that are within the region right now, are right here in this room. Everybody else in this, you guys are the oldest members that have not been exiled from the guild via scandal or dying on the road. The Silver Tree has definitely seen a culling of members in the last few weeks. Of course, everybody knows Nihiliste. She is your recruiter, who was was involved in various scandals, taking several guild members down with her. Those of you, who some people rose to power rose to influence in the guild from other people being removed.
I liked Nihiliste. She bought me, kind of. She bet on me, and she won a lot of money, and she let me join. So I like Nihiliste.
And Nihiliste was a lovely woman, but everyone has their vices.
And Elmira is gonna nod and laugh and say, my captains told me stories of the famous gambling harlot here in this town.
She was a lovely woman. Anyways.
Yes, I
1,000
think...
gold?
She nods and says, 1,000 gold if you can get me, just, north of, Beechwood, Retreat.
Alright. Are you gonna help us fight?
She's gonna start scratching at her teeth and like kind of inspecting her hand a little bit, like where she has like scars and other battle wounds, and then turn her thumb back over in her mouth and say, if I'm so inclined, kind of in a very
I'll kill someone first.
Lazy motion.
I'm gonna challenge her and tell her that I'm gonna kill someone first.
Rushing into battle might not be the best plan. They've left here for the evening. It's unlikely they will be...
Oh, no. We have to get her somewhere, but if we're gonna have to fight, I'm gonna kill someone first.
Of course you are, dear.
She's gonna gesture out to the street and say, you should start with that ranger captain of yours. What a prude.
Well, here's the thing you gotta remember. You're leaving. We're not. Us doing this, us and your suggestion of killing her, that looks badly upon us.
Also, 1,000 gold is a pittance for what I imagine that information will net you and your captain.
Yeah, the trouble alone isn't worth the extra 200. Comparatively.
Oh. Okay.
She's gonna put a hand on her sword and begin like backing up towards the door. Or, I'm sorry, a hand on her waist and begin backing up towards the door and say, "What are you implying?"
Oh no, dear. Relax. We are not here to turn you in. I am simply saying that you stole information that is more valuable than you are paying. Which is not to say that we cannot still do business.
It's called haggling, dear.
She's going to say, fine. You don't have to take me to the cove, but 1,200 gold shipped back here for your silence.
That seems highly amenable. Perhaps we could also give you some other form of assistance to get you there. I do hate not earning my coin.
She's gonna nod and say, the roads around here are patrolled by mercenaries, all in favor to the Ruby Alliance. I hate walking.
Don't we have a bank account there? The Ruby Alliance?
If you took a Ruby Alliance membership as one of your starting items...
No, I did not. I did not, personally.
Yeah. If anybody did, then yes, you would. But if you don't, you do not have a vault with them.
I think at least in my thought process, does the guild hall have a vault with them?
Not
We're
anymore.
16 years old. Okay. We're 16 years old. I'm surprised we don't have a bank account.
You guys had a crushing debt with them, which was easier to, just close the account.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. You guys consider your resources rather drained at the moment.
1,200 gold is a nice fee, I think, and well worth our silence. But it is useless to negotiate such a fee if you do not actually make it to your captain. What do the rest of you think?
I want to fight something. Let's go. I'm still a puppy. I'm still holding my shovel, by the way. It's lighting the entire room despite it being already lit.
Disco shovel.
She is going to walk up to Yolmir, patting him on the shoulder, and say, I like him. Captain Kangalai would like him also.
Well, we haven't been getting a lot of work lately, so...
Oh, can you please spell that name out and type?
Captain Kangalai.
If I were to make a suggestion, 1,500, and we take her where she wants to go.
So, real quick, she has mentioned the phrase captain, and she's mentioned the phrase cove. Would I be able to logically piece together that she is a member of the Silver Sigil?
You can guesstimate, but that's an accusation you can come to.
So Morgan will put up a hand. I think 1,200's fine, but I have a feeling you work for very interesting people. So I'm fine not increasing the price anymore if your friends do business with us more often.
She's going to scratch her head in confusion and say, "My friends aren't much aren't ones much for business."
Are they in the business of fighting?
At Yomar, she's going to look at him, tilt her head, and say, "Don't think about it too hard, honey."
Oh, took the words out of my mouth. Now, I think everybody has some business of their own. I stand with my friend here, though. I think 1,200 is sufficient. But may I make a suggestion?
Always.
Do you think those seeking you are more interested in the documents you stole or bringing you to justice?
She is gonna shrug and say, I don't know, my captain wanted them. I don't make the decisions.
Oh, your captain wants the information, but does the information need to be on those exact documents? Could we copy them?
Her eyes go wide at that, and she's gonna scratch her head and say, well, Kangalai didn't say anything about the seal or any of that. I suppose as long as all of it's correct. And she's gonna laugh and say, ha! I feel kind of bad about killing those dock workers now. Laughing, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure they deserve
I high
it.
five her.
I mean, you know, she's gonna accept it of not really going for the high five, but like, you know, her hand out in a statement of just like, you know, tipping over like, oh man, I feel bad. And then, you know, your hand just smacks into hers. It's like, well, okay.
Yes.
So, what if we copy the information? You, my dear, take the copy of the information, accurate. You can check it to make sure. And then but we did not find you, but we found the scrolls and we chased you off so that those seeking you maybe are off your trail.
She is going to wave a finger with a large smile on her face at Aryea and say, I take back every mean thing I've said about the silver tree.
Hey. Okay.
She's going to move near the hearth, pulling out the scrolls again and saying, okay, who has a tablet and some charcoal?
Don't look at me. I can just put it in leather.
Oh, I'm sure we have some around here somewhere. And Aryea starts going through any of the nearby desks, looking for some basic writing supplies.
Upstairs in the meeting room is where you would find a stack of parchment and an inkwell and quill. Bringing it to her, you know, and setting up like a small stand to write on. She's gonna like whistle at it, like, you guys do the real fancy writing here.
Some of us.
Yeah, she.
You don't put poetry on bark.
Yeah, she looks up at Morgan when she says that statement. You know, some of us, and she's gonna say, "Well, I'll need an inkwell to write all of this down."
I'll let you all take care of that. Aryea heads off to her private room and starts going through her clothing.
Mm-hmm. Are you just looking if she stole anything from you?
No. She is looking to see if she has an outfit that might fit the girl.
I guess I'll go run and grab it. And you said it's upstairs, right?
Yeah.
This is a terrible idea, but I'm going to do a backflip off the stairs. I'm going to do a front flip off the stairs. I want to show off.
Roll me an athletics check. Or, yeah, that's what I meant, acrobatics. Yeah, you don't break your legs, jumping down to the,
No. I didn't do it from the top of the stairs. I did it
Yeah.
from, like, off the, like, a couple steps down.
Alright, so, you, run upstairs and, grab the inkwell, and there's, something I need to look at. Yeah, you run upstairs and you grab the inkwell and bring it to her. Again, you're going to see her. You're going to see her just kind of like inspecting the inkwell and pointing towards Morgan and say, "Yeah, it's a real fancy place you guys got here." And she's going to look down at her writing desk again and say, "Oh, I'm such a klutz. I misplaced it. Could I have another one?"
No.
I don't know what she means.
Yeah, you look around and the inkwell's gone.
I have no clue what she means. I don't know what she means at all.
Arya comes back out of her room with a set of clothing, like generic clothing, and a different colored cloak from what the woman has.
Our guest keeps stealing our ink.
Wait, no, where is this ink? I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
Arya sighs and goes over to this woman. Elmira, now I'm happy to let you keep the ink that you just bucketed, but how about you use it in your hair before you leave? Huh?
You're going to see her produce an inkwell,
oh my
reaching
God.
under her cloak and just sliding it up her wrist, and she's going to say, "Very well. By the way, out of character thing, ink's worth 10 gold. That's a fortune right there." But she's going to sit down and start working on the documents.
Now, Arya sits close at hand and keeps an eye and might, read over her shoulder a little bit.
Okay. Go ahead and...
I'm gonna go back to leather work.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me an intelligence check as you're looking over her shoulders. Just, you're going to absorb some information. Once again, the magnitude of information you absorb and how much of it you're able to put together. And also, what's Arya's number one suspicion right now?
What's her number one what?
Suspicion of Elmira?
She's a pirate. She's a pirate rogue.
Alright, so, just from what you're reading, these dock papers specifically aren't these aren't papers of what's coming into port, but these are contracts for mercenaries leaving. These are contracts for mercenaries leaving Loch Liel. Specifically, boats coming in from overseas and going into Beechwood Retreat. All of these mercenaries being different companies hired as extra muscle to guard shipments of gold and rubies. Not only is this, what time will the ships be, but the routes and where they're going and where these guilds need to be to get on the boats. Arya can put together, any, band of pirates with this information is, going to be able to plan the perfect heist.
They're about to be very, very rich.
Yes. That said, it takes her, the better part of about 2 hours to copy the details from all of these documents into the stack of parchment and start rolling up the sheets and shoving them into the scroll case.
Arya holds out her hand for the originals.
She is going to hand them out, and or she's going to hand them to you, and say, "You'll be getting a courier or a courier of kinds coming through the city. They won't have much on them, but a couple jewels. But it'll be worth all the money we said."
Fair enough. Here, have a spare bit of clothes too. There's no sense in you going out there looking like yourself.
Yeah, she's gonna take them. Obviously, keeping her hood over her, and she's going to walk to the room she hid in, the empty one, and say, "At midnight, I'll be out of your hair." And she's gonna look to everybody in the room and say, "Thank you, truly, truly, thank you."
I run up to her and I say, "Look at what I did," and I show her this cool leather leaf thing.
All right, roll me a craft check using a tool proficiency with your leather, or it can be a sleight of hand.
Let me see.
I think there's leather workers tools.
What's the attribute for that? Would that be
dexterity. It is precision.
All right. I want to at least give it some backstory that is like his compulsion is like relatively clean space and leatherworking.
Okay. Well, what I needed to know if it crossed a value threshold. She's going to look at it, kind of palming it for a second, running her finger across, and says, "Oh, this is good work." And she's going to hand it back to you and say, "Keep at it, and you might be a master artisan someday."
I'm gonna smile, real big at her.
You did well, because if you would have got higher, she would have pocketed it.
Like, oh golly my, I misplaced
I don't have to roll that. I don't know that. Like I have no idea that she just thought about stealing it. I don't have to roll that.
But yeah, she retires to the room if you guys let her.
Yeah, Arya doesn't stop her, but she definitely kind of sits outside the room, looks around at the rest of her fellows.
After about 3 hours too, by the way, the bells in the city are gonna go silent. If you guys want to do anything or discuss what happened, you can, or we can fast forward through the night into the next morning.
I'm gonna polish my other shovel and go to bed.
I think Arya would wait until the woman is gone to discuss what they're actually going to do next.
Okay.
And Morgan would probably be working on whatever, like, if they have any backlog of smithing requests, mostly to kill time until the woman leaves.
Arya would just be keeping an eye on her to make sure she doesn't steal anything else of theirs.
Okay. True to her word. And it's hard to know, exactly like when midnight is without like a notch candle or anything. But what you guys assume to be midnight, the woman steps out of her room, almost on point, or almost to the moment where you guys are thinking like, shouldn't she be leaving about right now? And she begins making her way out of the guild hall. Arya, following her, sees her palm a couple things and just grabs them out of her hand and places them back.
No, darling. You're too sweet, and besides, with those items, it would be easier for us to track you. And the goal here is for nobody to be found, right?
She's gonna nod, and she's going to once again look Aryea like with that uncomfortable stare, and say, "Well, I hope our paths cross in the future."
I'm gonna look at everyone just kind of back and forth. How are we supposed to get our money? Aren't you gonna give us some money?
She will send it. Besides, I have a good view of her now. Aryea looks sternly back at her.
Is this flirting? Is that...
It looks mildly like it. She is going to turn a little bit red before turning and leaving and heading out of the guild house.
Was that a seduce check? Like,
I mean, if you guys want to seduce somebody, you got to tell me and roll persuasion on it.
No,
I don't
Aryea was
swing
just
that way.
I'll
getting a
let
good
you
look of her.
know when the Morgan charm actually gets turned on.
Yeah.
and she's not actually attractive. It's okay.
If anybody wants to, like try and understand what's going through an NPC's mind at any like one moment, you can ask me, like, can I roll an insight check to like discern their body language? And you can roll, and I'll tell you based on like what you gather based on what you rolled.
Probably not a problem for Yolmar.
Yeah, Yomar rolls,
Yo.
gets 1, has -2, and it's just like,
No, -3.
oh,
Thank
I'm sorry,
you.
-3, and it's just like,
Oh my
they're
gosh.
probably a person.
I was thinking about it. I can either, with my next point, go from being slightly less dumb, not smart, not slightly smarter, no, slightly less dumb, or I can get slightly better dexterity and have a little better initiative.
So what is
Like, I'm on odd numbers on my intelligence and my dexterity. I'm like,
all right, so Eric, I just looked at your dexterity, or your intelligence. You meet the threshold to know a language. If you have below 4 intelligence, you cannot speak languages. You can understand them, but you would not be able to word.
Yeah, no, Yomar's pretty much full Forrest Gump at this point. So.
That's fantastic. But yeah,
I love it. I love it so much.
your guys' guild hall is filled with just you and 6 lesser members in the upper quarters, likely sleeping through the evening.
Alright, at this point, once the woman has departed, Aryea would motion everybody in this inner circle into the room that the woman was using to hide in.
Alright, this is a cramped affair. All of you can fit in here. There's one twin-size bed in here. Some of these have beds, some of them have cots. This one is, like one of the nicer ones for guild members that, would be coming into this region, doing work for a few days, and then traveling somewhere else. It serves as a easy enough meeting room for you.
So first of all, how about we check this place over top to bottom, make sure she did not leave something that will fuck us.
I want to do like multiple investigation checks. I want to be like bouncing around the room and like pushing past people, trying to figure out what the clue to the puzzle is.
I'm going to ask Nyoka. Oh my god.
What? Okay. I'm really good at Where's Waldo. If there is anything, Where's Waldo just came out.
I don't have words right now. I was literally about to say, I think I'd ask Nyoka to go help. And by go help, I mean make the rolls at advantage.
Yeah, so You guys each poking around this room looking for
let me throw out one of those.
looking for anything, out of place. You are going to find her discarded clothes that she left in here. And specifically, that's going to be the first thing Yomar picks up and starts looking over. Everybody else isn't going to really be able to find anything. Yomar himself sees there is a small iron insignia on what would have been kind of like a brooch or pin that kind of tightened her tunic.
By the way, I just want to throw it out there. I got a -3 to investigation. So if I had a bonus,
If you were literally of average intelligence.
That's fabulous. So, Arya, Yomar, could you hand me that pin and the cloak, perhaps?
Oh, sure. Here you go.
Well, here is our proof that we almost had her, but she got away. But not without her cloak and the things she stole. What the rest of you think?
She stole something?
The people
Yomar.
the people who aren't Yomar, looking at this. Wait, no, Yomar's got 14 perception, right?
Oh yeah, he does have 14 perception.
Okay.
My bad.
He's very aware of the world.
Yeah,
around
he's
him.
very
He
aware.
really
He just
know what
doesn't
to do with it.
understand any of it. And so
Okay, so I'm reclassifying him as like the stereotype high school jock intelligence, like from like Disney Channel movie.
But everybody looking at this brooch that Arya is holding up is going. They're going to see it's structured kind of to look like the hilt of a sword on one side of it, and then where the blade would be, it's kind of iron bands that are just kind of like 3 swiggles that are just kind of like this and one more, and that is built on a hilt. That's a terrible drawing, drawn with my mouse. But if you guys would like me to describe it more, I can. But I feel like that's enough. Small iron brooch. On one side, it's a hilt. The other side, there are 3 wavy lines leading into it.
It's kind of like the Great Deity sword, only with 3 lines.
Arya might find the leftover paper and ink and sketch that down and pocket the drawing of it.
Do we have a pearl anywhere in this place?
You guys do not.
Damn. I knew I made a mistake in my starting gear.
Sold to pay back debts and the burdens of Nihilest.
I just got a more negative opinion of that woman.
I mean, when you owe a butt ton of money, a pearl worth 100 gold is it's 100 gold.
Yeah, well, now I can't use identify.
I mean, guys can go into town and try and make a little bit of coin quickly.
Don't you have an arcane focus?
I don't believe you can, if it costs money. I believe it has to be present, regardless of consumption.
Yeah, you can't eschew the pearl.
Pearl and the owl feather.
I would maybe Yomar would volunteer to model for that pearl. Can my criminal background be modeling?
I did not know you had the criminal background. I do have to roll you up a criminal contact.
Her name's Galay.
Yeah, it'll probably be a member of the Ruby Shadow. But, just, information for, you guys as players. Your characters exist in this, region, before the story even has, begun. So...
Yeah, Yalmar has a leather daddy. And, everything is good.
Well, what I was saying was, there are things they might have encountered that, from their background of just living here, they could recognize. So if you ever want to roll a history check on something, like,
I will take one of those. If, do I recognize it? And then is that history 10?
Yep, roll me a history check, DC 11.
Killed it.
Yeah, looking at this, you are, you're racking your brain for a minute, and then your heart just drops. In front of you is the symbol of the Ironwind Pirates. They are a
Do you want to tell us anything?
Morgan would know. They are a very ferocious bunch of pirates, specifically in service to one of the bandit princes of the region.
Oh my gosh. I believe the Ironwind Pirates are the ones with the girl leader. They're my favorite. Also, they're pirates, so of course they're my favorite.
You have a soft spot for the sea.
I am part water.
Actually, sorry. What is the pirate's favorite letter?
Don't do it. I will kick you from Discord. I will.
Yes.
No, I'm kidding.
The letter C. The pirate's first love is the sea.
It would turn
You
to
may proceed.
Aryea and be like, well, you were right. She's a pirate.
You know of this particular group, then?
It's hard not to.
Well, I'm not from here originally, so please enlighten me.
It's the Ironwind Pirates. Their captain is one of the illustrious members of the Crown. The closest thing we have to a government here in Bludge.
So they are...
Tale, at least.
So they are slightly government-sanctioned pirates? Am I understanding this correctly? Also, out of character, is it possible for you to turn your mic up there? It's hard to hear you.
Yeah, I can turn it up or talk louder. One of the two capable of both things. Output. Duluth, Minnesota.
I knew it was coming.
Rob, out of character, is it possible for you to mute your mic?
Yeah, I can do that. You won't hear me test it though, but that's the point.
Alright, that is a little better.
Oh, so it's like government sanctioned in the sense that governments don't mess with them.
Ah, that kind of pirate.
Have you heard of the pirate named Jack Sparrow?
I will kick you, Eric.
But
Didn't he die a horrible death of too much eye makeup? He must have drowned.
they say less.
I don't want to
is
get
more.
booted.
They say less is more. On the bright side is that they should be good for the money.
And not a bad backer, or better to have as a friend than an enemy if they are not contested by the state.
But probably an alliance we'd want to keep quiet if it existed.
All the more reason that we should hand in what we were able to rip off her back before she escaped our clutches.
So then the question is, which of us are going to go present our prize?
Is it possible to draw straws?
It's a matter. I think it's more a matter of, do you think that they'll, how friendly they'll be?
I am very friendly. I am very friendly.
You know, Yolmar, you are very friendly, and you have such an excellent understanding of what has transpired this evening. And Arya kind of looks and winks over at Morgan.
She'll stifle a chuckle.
I have to do a perception check because he would actually... Okay, did he actually hear the chuckle and think... Okay, I think it's a joke. I think that I just don't get the punchline.
So, yeah, if you hear the chuckle, it's going to be an insight check. If Morgan's trying to hide, that, it's going to be a deception check on her part.
Yay! Making all
just,
kinds of checks.
yeah.
No, I'm not charismatic!
Believe. Hit me with that insight check for Yomar. Or actually, I'll use what you rolled and do it as intelligence. So that's going to be a 13. Or wait, no. I'm sorry.
No, I can do an insight check if you want.
No, that's fine. It's going to be a 9 versus the deception. And you're going to pick up, oh man, yeah, I am nice. Wait a second, are they joking about me?
Okay,
Yomar
that's reasonable.
would put 2 and 2 together.
Okay. I'm ready to go.
Wait! Forgiven!
I just want to make some new friends, / if they challenge me, I promise you I'll kill them.
Alright, you guys send...
Hey, Yomar.
That's what I'm worried about.
Yomar, instead of you going, you want to go to the fight pit with me?
That sounds fun. And I'm gonna run off and grab my other shovel. And I'm gonna come back because it's gonna be a real quick trip. I'm excited. I'm a puppy.
Everybody who is not Yomar in the guild gets a free insight check, DC 4.
Damn it, I'm rolling for ones.
Yeah, basically just is anybody... Morgan is going to be the first one to realize. Nyoka, the next one to realize. The fighting pits at midnight, there are some scummy places to fight in Beechwood Retreat, but Lockleal itself, the fighting pits are not going to be open at this time.
I am so disappointed.
Well,
I don't even know this.
Yeah, Yomar doesn't realize
Yomar
that.
doesn't
Do you
even
want to
know.
go to the fighting pits? Yeah.
Brandon, what do I get for my natural 20 on that?
You're gonna pick up that. Oh, poor innocent Yomar is so happy. You
might see my soul die in a second.
Yeah, you can assume that on that 20, Nyoka could glean some information of just oh yeah, they're definitely closing down at these times, but you know a back little path that they could take to get into the fighting pits, and Mulaney and Yomar could just hit each other. For what it's worth, while nobody watched there.
No. Yomar's
I just keep quiet.
Perhaps it could wait until the morning. It's been a long day, Yomar. You might need some rest before, cracking a few skulls.
But I brought up my shovels. Are you telling me we aren't going to the fighting pits? It's like saying we're going to the bar and we're not going to drink.
Yomar, I don't know how to put this to you, so I'm going to say it very straight. It's, 1 in the morning. They're not open.
All right. I'm gonna look back as I leave the room, and I'm gonna just convey as much sadness as possible. Is that a performance check? Wait a second.
That Lou Ferrigno.
No, you're fine. You are just walking
give it to
away.
me. Give it to me.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
I mean, you're fine. Yomar just regular walking away. Everybody's going to know just like the one thing Yomar lives for and loves is just like ripped away from him. But yeah, you're definitely going to play that up, dragging the 2 shovels on the ground, dragging your feet as you walk away, head hung.
Now look what's
Yeah.
Come now, I think one of us should go to the guild with these items before the night is up, so that it looks as though we actually did help.
I can do it. It's not a big deal. I love the rain.
That works. Here, Arya hands you the cloak and the pin, as well as the original scrolls that were stolen.
Got all that.
Do you need someone to go with you so that way?
Oh, Nyoka is just gonna follow him. Follow her.
I'll have Nyoka. If you think I need an extra pair of hands, you're more than welcome.
I'll go cheer up Yolmar.
Thank you. That's completely out of character because I'm crying.
We might have to do some damage or repairs afterwards, but I guess I could spar with him in somewhere around here, one of the empty rooms.
Yeah, let's go out to the barn. You two can spar. I'll play some music. It'll be a merry time.
All right.
Yolmar, you want to get drunk and hit each other?
You have booze? All right. I am completely down with hitting you. I'm not quite sure how my combat's got to work out, but it's going to be fun.
All right, so Morgan heads to the Still Cabal's quarters.
Yeah, and I'll have Nyoka with me.
Okay, and the rest of the party goes out back, to where the stables would be, and begins their sparring. Excuse me. Oh. Yeah, there we go. Headed to the Still Cabal's quarters. Morgan and Nyoka are going to step into this side of the town, following their way to the bell tower that's kind of on the top of the hill here. There is a gathering from what Morgan and Nyoka can see, people holding torches and standing in what appears to be the stables of the Still Cabal. There are about 8 different people talking. You can definitely make out the Rangers of the Still Cabal and another 3 people in white cloaks. Addressing them, holding torches. Do you guys continue to approach?
Sorry, can you repeat that last bit?
I'm sorry, I was chewing on my finger. The last bit, there are 8 people there. 5 are the Ranger party from the Steel Cabal, and the other 3 are 3 individuals holding torches with white cloaks that are talking to the Rangers. Do you guys continue your approach?
Yeah, I mean...
Alright, as you get... as you get closer, just because of how much time you guys spent together, you're going to recognize, like, just the posture, the back of her head, and the demeanor of one of the members in white cloak. It is a woman by the name of Nilest. She is your former guild. You're the former recruiter for your guild. She once held the position that Aryea holds. As you and Nyoka get closer, she's going to turn, noticing you guys approach, and she's gonna say, "Oh, well, if it isn't the silver tree coming in to make a bit of coin, I see."
I heard you were looking for something, and I found half of it.
As you say that, she's going to turn very slightly, just kind of putting a shoulder in your direction so you can see her back, and she's gonna say, I've joined the White Cloak as a member of their ranks. I was not looking for anyone. It was two of our members that were attacked tonight. We alerted the Cabal.
Well, so, I mean, am I wrong? You know, you might not be doing the searching, but you did the asking.
No, not wrong at all. And as you guys are just kind of talking back and forth, the man next to her is going to step forward and say, "Oh, my shipping records." Taking the scrolls from your hand and looking through each one of them, and he's going to say, "In the scroll case they were in."
Do I have the scroll case? I thought they were in the scroll case.
No, they're not in a scroll case. These are a stack of paper. Or these are a set of scrolls. She took the scroll case.
No, that's all I could get from her. All we could get from her. And then what? I got the cloak and the pendant as well, or the brooch.
Yeah, handing the pendant forward. Captain. She's not a captain. Ranger, or Rayin is going to step forward, taking it and inspecting and say, as we expected, pirates. Niles is going to shrug and say, "Pirate. It was one individual, but as long as they don't have the records, it should be no harm done other than the lives lost." And she's going to look back to the portmaster and say, "Idulus, we can hire hands to replace those lost." He's going to look towards Rain, and then to you, and then just like very hesitantly, like nod of like, yeah, we can. As that exchange finishes, Niles is going to dig into her coin purse and say, "Alright, what are you charging over there nowadays for your services? I suppose a thank you's in order."
Nyoka, what are we charging again?
I think the word is a lot, boss.
A lot. We can start there.
She's going to like look at you with her whole posture shifting to one leg, from like one leg to the other, head tilted, and whatever civilness was on her face. Whatever civilness was on her face, just dissipating instantly. Say extortion, really.
That word. That's a law. I don't think we have those here.
She's going to, rather than fishing through her coin pouch, is going to hand it forward to you and say, gosh, you just would not say anything. She doesn't want anything left to do with you guys. She's going to hand it towards you and gesture to her two guildmates and say, Idolus, let's go. Walking past you, not even caring if you catch this thing, like shoves it to your chest, walks by.
I made friends today.
Rayin is going to look at you and say, the pirates in this region can be nothing more than a passing breeze, but some can be a stronger threat. Next time, I'd prefer if you caught the individual we call for. Never know how far these plans move.
Well, I'll consider that next time I do your job for you.
And she's gonna straighten up and say, our job gives you a place to live. I'd keep that in mind next time you consider aiding in that job.
Morgan will throw up a hand, a really aloof wave.
Like, whatever.
Always a pleasure.
She bows again and says, may you find your purpose in the hierarchy.
May Renalta guide your path.
Just all the sass. Face is gonna twist a little bit, and she's gonna shake her head. It's not worth it. And she moves a hand. Her and her rangers are going to spread out through this area, because they don't just have a guild hall. This is, this entire area is their quarters. Training halls, bunkhouses, communal, meeting halls, etc., etc., etc. Do you guys head back to your guild house?
Unless Nyoka wants to do something, I don't see why not.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I lead the way.
Alright, the rest of the party, I'm just assuming you guys spar until Yomar gets tired and sleep the night away?
Yep, Ariaya plays her lute to give him a little bit of music.
I don't get to beat him up? Dang it.
We're just going to zip a little bit through that so you guys can get into the rest of tonight. Okay, so
excellent.
You guys wake up on the morning of the 16th of Priestess. The town's on fire. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, as far as you guys know, it is business as usual inside of Lochleo. Early morning. The guild. It's only about a 2 hours, 3-hour march to Beechwood Retreat. The individuals here that work inside of the town are, up at sunrise, moving along the roads, or, getting passage from the portmaster here. The Steel Cabal out in droves this morning, inspecting different groups of people. What fresh produce and food that's caught on the lower docks of the city is slowly being bought by merchants and moved throughout the city and peddled to different people as they wake up going about their day. Even though it's the end of winter, you guys are just north of the equator of the world, and it's still pretty temperate here. It's cool at night, but the mornings and days themselves are pleasant.
So first,
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
first thing in the morning, Aryea would go to Morgan to see how much they managed to get for their help.
Morgan, counting it out, there was 500 gold in her pouch. Are you there, Rob?
Oh, I am.
Okay, I was making sure you didn't die on me.
Our collective favorite person is just very loud.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
So 500 gold.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, I tell her, 500 gold, and I learned that our mutual friend works for the White Cloaks now.
Our mutual friend, Nihilist.
Yes. I don't think she thinks much of me anymore after extorting her.
Oh no, extorting the person who stole all of our money.
I know. I felt so bad about it that I slept like a baby.
I would have slept better too if I'd known before bed. So, 500, that's 100 apiece for all of us who were present, perhaps?
Perhaps. I was thinking, and this isn't to say to be greedy, but we don't have a vault anymore, and we may need to brush up on some supplies. So maybe some guild affairs are in order before we start getting allowances?
Ah, yes, of course. That makes sense. And we are expecting some more contributions later today, perhaps, so...
And I don't feel comfortable having that much gold in a place that's robbable.
Do you want Yolmar to have 100 gold? Because we're about to get some puppies.
I mean, there's that too. Like, I should really limit your allowance. But mostly guild business.
Why don't you bury a bus? That's what us lizard folk did in the north. We get some shiny and we put it in the ground.
From where I'm from, it's mostly dirt, and what's not dirt is swamp.
I like holes. I can dig it. I can dig it. In fact, did you hear that the creator of the shovel? It was groundbreaking.
Naoka's gonna look at you and go, "Yes, why don't you go outside and dig a hole?"
Aryea is just going to rub the bridge of her nose. It's too early in the morning for this. I'm getting some caffeine. Would anyone else like some tea?
I might need a shot.
But it's first thing in the morning, isn't it? Like,
It's never too early to day drink.
It is. You guys would have probably about 30 days of leisurely rations left at this guild house for you. Which, you know, among 5 people is going to be like a week's worth of food. Between, you know, tea, meat, dried things for the road, etc.
What you picked up at the grocery store for 1 week worth of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 month for one person.
So, yes, I think using it to restock on supply is a good plan.
So we'll need to crunch the numbers, figure out what that's going to cost, and then we can decide what to do with what's left.
Number crunching. Oh, what's that? My teapot is boiling. I will be back. She runs off.
I bring up the fact that we should have a fountain in the garden, and I think it would just be fabulous. Fabulous.
Well, Yolmar, we'll have to dig a foundation for it. You might want to go get started with that.
Alright, also too, for your guys' back area here, you do have a small, gosh, what's the word? It's kind of like a communal courtyard you guys share with several other buildings. There is a well that hits a place where fresh water drains into, or some underground spring. It's one of the few areas to get fresh water in town. You share it with several other buildings.
I'm sorry. You said one of the few places to get fresh water. I am a source of fresh water.
Well, not everybody has magic in their blood.
Not everybody has a water genocide on the payroll.
Yeah, so I mean, hey, if you guys dig up and, you know, completely, you know, pave over the well and everything, no problem on your part.
I mean, that's a level of warfare I'm not prepared for.
It's called capitalism. You control the means, the resources, and then everybody.
I'm ready to start digging. I'm about to start digging. Like, if you want to stop me now.
Nayoka, can you make sure he doesn't get in trouble?
Yes. I just walk over there and go, no, not on the well! Over here!
Anyway.
Those any jobs come in lately?
Has any jobs come in lately? Am I in a place where I can look at that?
Well, you guys would, and this is just how the business of mercenary work goes. You guys would send somebody to the Cabal to get bounties. You know, if you wanted to do business in that sort. The docks to, you know, see what interesting things have came through the docks, or basically, you would send somebody to the area that, you know, you'd be looking for jobs from. Preferably your
Do we have any
speaker.
blacksmithing jobs? Do we have any blacksmithing jobs?
Nobody has shown up on your guys' doorstep this morning.
Zuta lore. Okay.
At what time is our courier expected today?
She did not tell you guys a time.
Oh,
Or
so
a day.
like Comcast.
I brought that up. I was wondering when we were getting paid.
Hindsight, we
But-
wanted to get a better guarantee.
Do you want me to head over to the docks and such on, see if there's any bounties or jobs that need to be done?
Well, if you have nothing else to do, I'd rather you not idle.
That's not a bad idea.
Is there
Paying
any?
me the same either way.
I almost kind of want to go down to the fighting pits.
Mm.
It would probably be a better use of your time.
Is there any work from yesterday that we can?
Does anyone want to gamble on me?
Alright, so, Milani wants to go to the, docks. Yolmar wants to go to the fighting pits. And what's
If someone persuades me otherwise, that sounds fun.
I'll go to the docks with Milani.
Alrighty. And, everybody else, staying at the guild house and waiting for the courier, or are you guys, gonna do anything else?
I mean,
Come on, no one wants to bet on me?
well, I have to do the accounting, so I don't know how much betting money I have.
Alright. So, the group, does Yomar go to the docks? Or, I'm sorry, not the docks, the, fighting pits, or, does he just,
I look in my pockets and I see how much I have, and actually I need to know how much I have in my pockets. And I want to offer it to someone to place on me.
So, I just thought of, something mean. I'm not going to be that mean, but I thought I should delete your, gold, out of your inventory and just replace it with some. And every time you want to see how much gold you have, just roll an intelligence check. Just like if you beat 10, you get the amount. If you don't, it's some. But I'm not that mean. I'm not that mean.
I actually almost want it.
Do it.
Alright. So you know you got 15 now. For now on, your amount is some. So, good luck.
Hey! I still know it's 15.
Yeah, you know, pulling it out.
I'm starting strong. Strong. I knew I put away 15.
Yeah, pulling it out and, you know, sitting and counting it, piece by piece. You know, Yomar's gonna, like, he might have to start over twice, but he gets to 15.
Does anyone want to bet on me with 15?
Why don't you place a bet on yourself?
Another time, Yelmar.
I don't think I'm allowed to bet on myself.
No, not so much.
Oh, okay. I'll just performance check and cry again.
Alright. So, Milani and Aryea are going to head to the, docks. And I'm going to assume the rest of the party's staying at the guild house.
Yep.
Alright. Now, just because this is a new group, I'll also give you guys, and I feel like I should have started with a lot of these disclaimers, but they don't pop into my head until they're happening. I never recommend splitting the party. That said, I will never ever stop you guys from splitting the party. So,
I don't think Group D has been in a full party situation the last, what, Rob, 5 weeks?
Yeah, and that's why one of your party members almost got one shot.
I mean, he almost got murdered by a paladin and then didn't show up for a month and a half.
Though the group heading to the docks, the docks are kind of a twofold affair. If you look at the inspiration picture I've kind of put to the left there, kind of like the darker one, and I'm going to circle this. That's, you know, kind of like the city gates looking up at the, and here I'm going to delete this, kind of looking up at the town built into this coastal hillside. And there we go. But the docks themselves are an outlier of Lochliel. And, this whole area is ran by the White Cloaks, passing through the city gates and moving through these docks. Some buildings are 2-story buildings, 3-story buildings. Most of these, however, are large warehouses. There are going to be dock workers moving in every which direction, and amongst some of the dock workers are also going to be slaves doing labor. All the slaves have their leather and Valpyr collars on, and even more rare among these groups, there's going to be a single member of the White Cloaks here and there, just managing and overseeing the work going on at the docks. You guys are going to get to the you guys are going to get to, I believe it's called an authority. What docks are managed out of. You're going to get to the Port Authority, and it's this open building overlooking all 3 sets of docks. The bottom floor is going to be completely open, but this place is kind of built like a watchtower over this side of town. Stepping into the bottom area, though, there are stairs that lead up to closed doors on either side of this just kind of open stone arched under area of and this goes, oh man, look at these design skills, and this goes around in a this tower is beautiful, guys. This goes around in all directions as I am just out of words. I'm sorry. So anyways, you guys are going to get into this bottom area, and moving through here, the portmaster himself is going to be talking with different individuals, verifying the waterlogged shipping records that you guys recovered last night. Waterlogged from the carry through the rain. Oh, and by the way, not sunny, cloudy today, but weather check, the rain did stop. Moving on from that, though, various people have been talking as you guys have been just moving through this area. There seems to be a lot of gossip about what's happened last night. Lots of different people taking interest in it. As you guys step through this area, getting closer to the portmaster, each group is obviously going to be talking, different groups moving about themselves to the work, looking towards you, and then just kind of silencing until you guys get a good distance away, and then their conversations continue.
Arya might keep her ears a little bit more open to see if she can overhear anything.
Alrighty, what's her passive insight? Or, I'm sorry, passive perception?
14.
Alright, some people are not quiet as you move by. The gist of what you can gather before people stop their conversation. 3 people were killed at the docks last night. Dark magic involved. People, a lot, and this is about the max you're gonna get. A lot of people know you guys battled whoever it is that did it. Or don't know, but think.
She would hone in on the one that mentioned dark magic, and tug her associate with her, and approach them.
Alright. It's gonna be some lowly dock worker. He's got 2 slaves helping him out as he's kind of pulling a cart himself towards the docks. And stopping him, he's going to say, "Oh, I didn't mean nothing by it, madam."
Oh, no, it's quite all right. I could not help but overhear you. Dark magic. Perhaps our dealing was a little bit more brief and fortunate than I expected. What have you heard?
He's going to... he's gonna look over to the 2 people with them and say, "Well, we're mighty fortunate and thankful for you guys fighting off the Archblight agent, whoever it was." And he shakes his head and say, "They found Talimu this morning. Markings all over her. Dead, impaled a couple times.
Markings. Her expression would shift dramatically to one of dire seriousness.
He's gonna shake his head and say, I don't know much about the magics that make up Terrai."
What kind of markings?
And he is going to give his best, just backwater description of these and say, they were on her skin, real dark and shiny, like glowing with a little bit of, I don't know, magic.
Cheetah look over at Mulaney.
Mulaney just trying to play it off as if this is not too surprising. Just goes, I bet they're just something dealing with the markings she had on her arm.
Another...
You know how these kind of things and curses and spells happen.
As you guys continue, like, having this conversation, a member of the White Cloaks is going to come up and say, "I say you, we've got a schedule to stick by. Those ingots need to be loaded before noon."
Oh, our apologies. We did not mean to interrupt business. I would step back.
He's, going to be looking at you with a good bit of respect of just like, "Oh, no, I should be thanking you. Thank you. And he continues pulling the cart forward.
She gives him a kind smile, though her eyes are distant.
He moves on past you guys. You can continue to the Portmaster if you want. Once again, his area in the center of like these docks down here is like you can pretty much see him doing business all day long. It's protected from the sun, but otherwise, you guys can talk amongst yourselves.
You lead on, Mulaney. I'll follow. She seems distracted at this point.
Alrighty.
Alright, Mulaney will head to the Dockmaster.
So once again, you can see this area over several counters that he has down here. He's just got all these waterlogged records just splayed out. He is pointing to one and double checking it against a paper that somebody else standing near him is holding. The man himself standing near him looks to be a sailor. As you approach, he is going to look back at you and say, if you've come for more money, Nyless already paid Mistress Darbahari last night. Members of your guild are prone to some lesser than reputable dealings. I'd suggest you go question her. He says all that, like glancing up at you once and then looking back down at what he's doing.
We actually didn't come here to collect. The money that was paid to us is more than sufficient for what happened. We're actually coming to see if you had any work that needed to be done.
Go ahead.
Yes, we would like to be of more assistance, if possible. It is a slow morning.
Yeah. He's gonna nod and say, your associate failed to mention that the person they fought last night was a practitioner of sorts. Perhaps we've underestimated your combat skills.
Oh, no matter. I think the person who encountered this being was just fortunate. They were more interested in fleeing than fighting.
He nods and says, well, regardless, the job isn't done. After we paid you last night, whoever they were came back and killed another here.
Are the bodies nearby?
He is going to... Actually, I'm gonna roll him a percentage die. He's going to shake his head and say, heavens no, I ordered some of our hirelings to clean them up earlier this morning. With any luck, they should be hopefully disposed of by now.
Which direction is that? If we were to help find who did this, it would be helpful to know what their handiwork looks like.
He lackadaisically points you off in a direction, and gives you the name of two dock workers that he told to do it. Finding these people, not a very hard affair. Once again, the portmaster himself keeps this place running in order.
She would say, my gratitude. She would toss him a gold coin and run in that direction before Mulaney even knows what's going on.
Yeah, I assumed as much, and just in saving you a quick second, finding these two workers, they're going to just easily tell you, oh yeah, they slacked off and didn't dispose of the bodies, they just threw them into the sea. And they show you the area they threw them at. You can see they are. You can see the bodies kind of from a distance. They are being pushed and pulled with the waves, hitting dangerously underneath the docks on the the far southeastern side of the docks. They are between the boards underneath the docks.
This is where I regret not taking Mage Hand.
You should regret not bringing your amphibious druid with you.
Yeah, and it's at first, it's just yeah, that's how the water does as you're looking around for this area. But then it becomes very apparent as every hit with the waves, you just hear thump, thump, thump. As
Ryan, Melania, where are you?
I'm right here.
Help me get them back up on shore a bit.
As you turn around to look at him, he's already taken off his chainmail.
Yeah, she takes off her heavier leathers, just down to her blouse and pants.
All right.
You stay up here. This could get dangerous.
Are you sure? If he insists,
Mhm.
she will put her clothes back on, keep herself armored.
Mulaney takes off his chainmail and leaves his axe and shield down and jumps in.
Okay.
The one with markings first.
So, first thing is, the storm has passed. However, it's, a whole system going through. So the waters themselves are a little bit rambunctious. The only reason this is happening, though, how they're like hitting the docks is because of those tides and waves. Otherwise, early morning though, it is low tide and you're not in as immediate danger. It is going to be kind of hard to like fish these things out without being thrown yourself. And it's going to be a DC 14 athletics check. Just, swimming and properly handling these. And then just not getting thrown against... Oh, look at that. Making it by the skin of your teeth. Yeah, so going down under here and, just going up and down with the movement of the waves. The one with the markings first... there are... so all three of these bodies have been thrown here and kind of pushed to the same area. From what you can tell, all three of them have markings.
Alright, can I do a medicine check or what would it be to try to discern anything from that?
It's hard to see with like how the waves are, hitting over your face. You're just gonna have to
pull them onto land.
That's what I'm. Yeah, you can. You pass the check to navigate these waters. You can pull one out and start bringing it to the side of the docks. And these things can't get to the land because of how these docks are built. The docks are built into the ocean. So the deepest point here at the shallowest part of the docks is like 20 feet down to the bottom of the bay. Yeah, this is a bay over here. Yeah, it's going to be 20 feet down just from how these things are built. And the way the water is moving, and the reinforcements for it, the bodies have gotten stuck from getting any closer. But yeah, you're able to bring one out to the side and, pull it up to the side of the walkway. And, with Aryea's help, you can heave this one up there. It has markings, and...
Sorry if I rolled something I didn't do.
And you smite it into the next plane of existence. Yeah, so it has markings on it that definitely don't seem natural. Yeah, that's about the...
Investigation or perception?
Either or, and they're going to give you different information.
Or language.
Yeah.
Or language. What language do these people speak?
Yeah, also, if you tell me what languages you have, I can tell you if you recognize the markings.
I speak Common and Primordial.
You recognize the markings. They're primordial.
Hell yeah!
Doesn't Rob also?
He's not there.
Rob's not here.
Aryea wouldn't recognize the language, but would she recognize the markings?
She wouldn't recognize the nature of them. They look very similar. Not an exact match, though.
What does it? What do they say?
That is a very good question. Let me open my notes.
On a side note, I do not know that not Dralos, sorry, Yalmar would actually know any of this. I was like, language, and like the second I said language, I was like, damn it, Yalmar, you don't know shit.
Yalmar's not here.
Yeah, also, Yalmar would just be looking at them just like, why are you guys digging up bodies? They're from the person last night. What happened last night?
That's, by the way, that's my gladiator bonus language is primordial, but I'm not there. But
all of them are going to, one of them actually is, one of them is going to say, Angari, and then all the rest say Yanri.
Angry and Yanri.
Oh, I'm sorry. The one you're looking at says, Angari. Fishing out the other two say, they both say Yanri across them. And Arya rolled an investigation check. Alright.
Yeah.
So, as you're looking over this body, Mulaney pulls out two more for you. The first one that he pulled out has no wounds. They are dead. The body is pale. It's waterlogged. It's bloated. The markings are all over this thing. Those weird runes. The other two have sword wounds in addition to these markings.
I don't think that our friend did all three of these.
Can I do a medicine check on the one that doesn't have a sword wound to try to determine what killed him?
Yeah, you can.
Which one has the runes that are different?
The
one with no runes.
No stab wound.
Yes.
Can you read these runes?
Yeah, they're actually all are in primordial. This one here with the no wounds on it says Angry. These two are both just covered in Yanri.
7, you got no idea, man. Probably dark magic?
Sky Soul. That's interesting.
Regardless, I don't think these should just be left in the water to float around if they're contaminated.
No, with these markings they should be burned. Arya is going to loot whatever possessions off of the unstabbed one that she can get.
Alrighty. Looting her body. This one has been picked clean. You get nothing off of this thing. The other ones have still have chains around their necks and tiny trinkets, maybe a few gold coins in their pocket. This body has the clothes it's wearing, which is just a handful, or which is just a couple cleric's robes. No holy symbol, no identification, no guild letter, no gold coins, nothing of the sort.
Yeah, I don't think this one was the same MO as the other two, so...
I think it's just being lumped in.
Can you create fires?
One moment.
So as all of this is happening too, this far dock is unused. There's no ship here. You do see people back on shore, stacking crates and things for this dock next. That has no bearing on what you guys are doing right now. I was just telling you there are about to be people walking in your direction.
We would need to actually set a pyre for them, I'm afraid.
I think doing that in the middle of the docks by the shipping yard would probably be the worst idea possible.
That would be the worst idea possible, but perhaps not as bad as leaving these marked bodies in the lake to come back.
Don't you wish you had a dumb half-orc to carry it?
Who needs a dumb half-orc when you have a dumb genasi?
We should maybe,
Let's take them back to the guild hall.
I would not welcome them back in the guild hall, but maybe we could get some aid. I can run back to the guild hall, bring some people down. Unless you think you are faster than I am.
I don't think I'm faster, but I probably could keep up with you.
Do you have the strength of carrying 3 bodies? I'm impressed.
You are perhaps more intimidating than I am to keep people from disturbing this.
Yeah, fair enough. Just be careful.
I want to see you. I want to see you carry those bodies now.
I'll be quick, and Aryea just takes off for the guild hall.
All right. Whole town.
Milani puts back on his armor and his stuff.
The whole town itself is probably about a mile in diameter, maybe a mile and a half. So, just at a full sprint, 10, 12 minutes, you're going to be able to make your way back up. Well, wait. That's a quick mile. About 13 minutes. That's a good average mile for a person.
Really? Hurry's from the 7-minute mile, and I'm just a basic human.
I would have said 15 minutes so she doesn't wind herself.
Yeah, I was about to say 13's pretty average, Eric. Because you and I were quick. We were people, yeah. I do a 10-minute mile myself, and I am a fat, lazy man nowadays. But the getting to the guild hall doesn't take you longer than a half hour or a quarter of an hour. You're able to get your guild mates and head back in the direction. A whole party moving together. You guys aren't all going to be able to keep pace with Aryea, and
she would have them bring stuff to make a bonfire.
Yeah.
And I want to say, during the time he's waiting, he's actually cutting up the bodies with his axe.
You can look like a psychopath. All right, so
that's terrorism.
So you guys are going to get back to the docks in the matter of about 40 minutes from the time Aryea departs to the time she gets back. With Milani at the docks, as people start, a ship's going to be moving in. Is going to be moving into port. It is a larger vessel, and it's not one that can dock in these shallow waters. And as so, I guess they'd be called dinghies. Would be coming to the edge of this port to load up these larger cargo containers. And as the dock workers are moving by you, people are going to be cringing. A couple, being as bold to claim like, oh, kick them back into the water.
They're cursed. If you let it get out there, it could contaminate the whole area. Shut up and leave me to my work.
For the most part, your work goes undisturbed. You see a couple of the dock workers, pointing to members of the White Cloak, or rather talking to members of the White Cloak and pointing towards you, and they just kind of nod along. The rest of the party arrives to see your paladin hacking bodies and limbs apart.
How many times have I told you, use a shovel, it's so efficient.
And axe works just as well for chopping up bodies.
Are any of the bodies still intact? Because I imagine it's hard to ascertain what the markings mean when they're in pieces.
Well, I didn't chop them up into sushi. I meant more take arms and legs off.
Yeah.
So it's easier to stack for burning.
He's about 50% through this task. One body is left, and he's working on his second body. One body is undisturbed.
Well, then I would like to examine the bodies, because I have a weird feeling that Ariel was just kind of like, important, please come now, go.
As you come over to look, he, not even looking at you, Malani's just like, it's written in Primordial. Angari and Yanri.
Do I know what that means?
They're words that just mean old tongue things. Old tongue is
a language I know.
Yes. Old tongue is a Latin-like language. It's spoken a lot like American Sign Language. It doesn't really have sentences. It strings together concepts to make things. And depending on any given situation, the context of those concepts could be very different. And just because it's the first time this is being mentioned in this campaign, I want to, explain it. If you're asking for a pencil from a bookshelf, you wouldn't say, "Can you give me that pencil from the bookshelf?" You would point to it and say, you would have to sign pencil on shelf, me. Or, give me. It's just a very weird, different way of referring to things. You would be able to piece together that means it's the concept of win, and the concept of sentience, the concept of absence, and then the concept of sentience.
So, living wind and then living emptiness?
Perhaps.
All the same. Could Arya make an Arcana check to get a sense of why the runes might be used on these bodies?
Similar for Morgan.
Yes, you can. One of you can make a Arcana check, and then the other one could provide the help action if you'd like to make to allow the other person to make it with advantage. Or you could both make separate checks.
So I have a +3 in Arcana.
I also have a +3.
Well, you know what? Then I'm gonna help you.
Alright, so I'll roll it with advantage.
Milani's just gonna look at Yolmar and say, "Start digging a fire pit."
Okay.
Roll me an intelligence save, DC 7.
I'm gonna start digging. I have a lot of strength.
Right where you're at?
Please tell me that you pointed in a direction Because
that's why I said roll me. That's why I said roll me an intelligence check or intelligence save, because I feel like Yomar would just start digging right there.
Alright, yeah. Alright, this goes on to alright, I will roll that intelligence check, and
DC 7, you beat you realize, oh wait, can't dig into the ocean, and you start walking back towards shore. Good job, not breaking through the docks and dropping your whole party into the waves.
And
I gotta say,
my strength check holds. I start digging.
I gotta say, for someone who has a -3 to their intelligence, you've rolled super high on all your intelligence checks for the night so far.
He's been rolling really well tonight.
Yeah, the rolls have been favoring Yolmar.
Yolmar is dumb,
I think it's
he's
good
not
looks.
dumb. Come on.
No, he's dumber than you want him to be, but he looks really good, and he just happens to be good at a couple things. It's just some uncanny ability. It's some uncanny ability.
It's that halfling in you.
That is actually a great explanation for tonight. Yes. I was lucky as fuck.
So what is Aryea going to glean, thinking back on what she knows Arcana-wise, looking at these runes?
That Arcana check just snuck in there. I was still waiting for you to roll it. I see it
now.
Oh, shit. Alright, so, looking at those, runes, these runes, and she has a brief history with these. I'm sorry, excuse me. And she has a brief history with these. These runes specifically, things like this have been used by a organization called the Archblight. Their agents are few and far between in the world. They've been fought back to the corner of the world, but every now and then a couple slip through the cracks and just start making chaos wherever they can. These runes themselves, while they're not particularly deadly, they are curses. Which, if any of these people were alive, would probably function much in the way of sapping from these people and giving or these curses sap something out of these individuals and perhaps empowered another individual. Would be about like the most you can glean from it with your history, with like how their bodies look, where the markings are placed on them, what type of ink is used on it, just inspecting it in depth. My brain is completely void of words tonight, so this has been like a 2-session thing. I'm gonna sit down with a dictionary Saturday, and I'll become smart again. I promise.
No worries. So Aryea would she'd make a note of the words that are carved based on what Mulaney said, and she'd basically sit off to the side in deep thought and more quiet than she usually is. Well, everybody handled burning them.
Hey, Brandon,
yes.
How big is my hole now?
Oh, so it's only been... you've only been able to strike this thing, maybe 8 or 9 times in the time this has been going on. But for a fire pit, you just need to clear out the ground around it. To get back to shore, I'm going to draw this one with red for you. You would have had to all of this area right here is built into the ocean. Right here is when you get to I've marked it in red and scribbled in red. Yeah, we'll just delete that. Right there is about where you'd have to get away from the city to actually find like non-paved roads, cobbled roads where you can actually dig into the sand. And 8-9 shovel strikes, you're good with a decent sized area just to light a regular fire.
I want to dig.
Hey, you keep doing that.
Can you dig it?
So, there is a table for the sizes of fire in 3.5. Let's see. Control flames. 3.5. There we go. Each 10 minutes you spend working on this hole, you are going to go up a size. So your fire size right now is diminutive, and I probably butchered that word. That is the size for like a cooking fire or a kindling to start a torch. Few swings more, you go up to small campfire, tiny. And every 5 minutes moving up from there, you're going to go up a size of fire pit. All the way getting to huge at 5, 10, 15. Or you'd get to large at 20 minutes.
How long does the taking apart the last body and the rest of the one I'm working on?
Oh, yeah, with help. Or rather, you guys can burn these things in a large campfire. That only takes 10 minutes. That's a small area. It's a 5-foot square you get ready for a bonfire. Go ahead.
So while they're transporting the bodies and building the fire and whatnot, I think Arye is going to try to slip back to the dock lead who pointed them to where they were supposed to be.
Okay. You're gonna find him, and it is the same thing going on. From what you can tell, from where he's been to where he is now, it looks like he's going around because he's kind of got like this. Square, circular desk that's just he's in the middle of this area, and all these counters are laid out around him. From what you can tell, it seems he's going in a clockwise fashion, verifying each of these documents. And he's moved on probably 40 degrees since you've last been here.
Alright, so she approaches politely. I'm terribly sorry to interrupt your business. I know it's very important, but I have a few quick questions about the bodies and the people who were killed. 2 of them were dock workers, but who was the third?
He is going to say Talimu. She was a cleric working in the area. We left her with the bodies when we went to file the claim with the Steel Cabal. We didn't know the person would have been back. Otherwise, we would have left guards with her.
Did the bodies have the markings before you left them?
You're gonna see him squint and kind of pinch his eyes and say, the reason why I choose to work so close to Beechwood Retreat is so I don't have to deal with things like this. I must not have noticed it when I first left.
I don't think that's the case. I think there are 2 different killers, I'm afraid.
And he's, you're gonna see him swallow a lump and say, so you and your companions didn't run off the person who did this?
Oh, we ran off the person who stabbed those dockworkers, that's certain, but the priestess, the woman, she was not stabbed.
And you're gonna see him swear and just say, thieves, bandits, terrai, pirates, damn I hate the clutch, and now necromancers.
Necromancers.
And he's gonna say, I don't know, dark magic.
Nonsense, to be certain, and I agree completely. But it would not be wise to expect the danger gone if it is not actually gone. I would not want that to spread.
You're gonna see him turn to the person that's verifying these documents with him, says, tell Nyless I want to hire three more guilds out here. Anybody who can lend a sword.
Our guild can lend a sword.
Or like a shovel.
He is going to smile and wave a finger at you, just like that's and he's gonna say, while as much as I'd like to do business with you, I think Nihilist of all people, you would be the last person that she employed.
Oh, but let me handle Nihilist. You need the help, and I do not necessarily have to be the one of us who is down here doing the hard work.
Fire in the hole!
Hey, by now it's been at least 15 minutes. That's a big hole.
Yeah, you guys can start burning the bodies.
Oh no! It's a big hole.
Get out of the hole so we can burn the body. Nope, he told me to dig. Well, now I'm telling you to get out of the hole, but he told me to dig first.
Damn it, Yolmar! We can't burn these if you're in there.
He's going to nod and say, "Very well. I will mention it to her. However, I prefer to deal," and he gestures to all the contracts in front of him, and agreed upon pricing.
Of course. I understand completely. And if it helps any, you can absolutely tell her that I will abstain personally to give her space.
He smiles at you, as weak of a smile as he can muster under the circumstances, of just like, oh yeah, that's wise. Oh god, people are dying on my docks.
All the same, I should get back to my friends. Your workers that you sent to take care of them, they tossed them into the water. You might want to see about that as well. We're burning them.
Yeah, as you say that, his expression, it's gonna go from, that weak smile to, what? People not following orders? Come on! Just because we're in a lawless region doesn't mean you have to be he's gonna start going off on a tirade as
I'll leave you to tend to that. I will get back to my people and make sure that they are properly disposed of. Bye-bye!
Yeah,
she runs back to the bonfire.
Does not, give you a farewell. The rest of the party, who is capable of making fire?
Well, I mean, I think any of us are capable of it.
Well,
I'm digging the hole. Digging the hole. So the longer you take to light the fire, the more time I dig.
I have a better question. Who has a tinderbox and flint and tinder and oil to burn these? Otherwise, you guys are going to need some magical flames.
I got the tinderbox.
I got a tinderbox and torch.
Yeah, throwing a torch onto these completely waterlogged soaked bodies, it's not... Well, Yomar has a torch. My bad.
Yomar.
Well, how does... So...
No, I just pull them out. That's all I do. Is I just say I have a vodka.
I mean, so they're waterlogged. I mean, the water would be, like, soaked in their skin. But I can remove excess water with shape water.
Oh, yeah, you're, Ganassi. Yeah, let me, Google search real quick how your, thingamajig
I mean, I can
work.
throw it up real quick. I have the cantrip in my spell list.
Yeah, go ahead. Why is Shape of Water, the first, thing that comes up? I don't want to see that stupid movie. Alright, let's see. You can choose an area of water that you can see within range that fits within a 5-foot cube. You can manipulate it in one of the following ways. Instantaneously move the flow of water as you direct. You cause water to form... Well, this is not a area of water. And it's not an area of water that you can see because, first of all, any excess water is going to be, within the bits of organs that, your paladin didn't chop up. As horrible as that sounds. What a way to start a campaign. Yeah, you're not going to be able to have, you don't have sight on it to target the water. Then additionally, most of it's going to be, soaked in as far as, becoming a part of these people.
Keep in mind, I'm just still digging. It's not the end of the world if we just bury them.
It might be. I have a tinderbox, and I have
a tinderbox and torch.
stuff, but I don't have oil.
Perhaps if we search for some kindling.
None of you guys have a fire spell on you?
Unfortunately not.
Alright.
Fire isn't really my thing.
Roll me a survival check.
Says the metalsmith.
Milani's gonna go up to one of the dock hands and be like,
I can.
You got any extra crates you're not using?
Can use Searing Smite on my quarterstaff.
For Aryea, and I'm just gonna handle everybody. Roll me a survival check, DC 13. To find some dried out driftwood, enough to start a fire. For Milani, heading off to talk to a dock worker, and Milani's going to have to roll a persuasion check, asking the dock worker for any crates. These dock workers don't want to talk to you. Not because they don't like you, but because they don't want to be seen slacking off. The rest of the party can roll an athletics check to pull Yomar out of this hole if they want to. Otherwise, he just continues going.
Yomar, how about you stop? You need a break. You need some water. Climb on out.
I'm digging.
Yomar,
if you want to do a persuasion check, you can do a persuasion check, but...
If you come out of the pit, we can go to the fighting pit next.
You've let me down twice today.
Yomar's like, I'm dumb, but I'm not that dumb.
Let me keep digging.
You'll roll a persuasion check then.
Yomar, I will light your shovels on fire. Get out of the hole.
That sounds like an intimidation check. I'm just gonna keep digging. Alright, you win. You win.
It's contested will saved for Yomar to be like, eh. But yeah,
No,
I don't think
too
he's
long.
beating a 27. Yeah, Yomar's just gonna like, alright.
College of lore expertise, yo.
Thank you.
Yomar gets out of the hole. Alright, so.
Aryea goes up to him and gives him a kiss on the cheek. Good job, Yolmar.
Big smile.
Aryea is going to be able to find some driftwood. It's relatively recent that's been put on the shore. It's not dry enough to just hold or catch fire from, you guys putting a torch to it. However, Mulaney does return with some broken crates that reluctant dock workers were nice enough to let him have. It is enough to start enough of a fire that between it drying out the driftwood would be enough, to burn the whole.
Actually, she can help it get gun faster with a little bit of prestidigitation.
Oh yeah. Prestidigitation can dry materials because that's a powerful cantrip.
It's a handy cantrip, so
I
she
always
helps dry
forget
the stuff, and also uses it to start the small campfire that will build.
All right. In probably a matter of a half hour, you guys have a fire burning and crackling enough. Oh, I just had to consider something. I'm sorry. You have a fire that's burning and crackling enough that you can put these bodies on it and feasibly dispose of them.
All right, let us be done with this so we can start doing something that actually makes coin today.
I wanted to start eating. I wanted to start eating it, and I just rolled a 0. On my intelligence check.
What?
With the food you're cooking.
We had a cookout. We were having our cookout.
All right.
Yolmar, no.
Yalmar is eating it.
Yeah, you are able to fish off a limb, and the first thing you're going to notice is this limb is raw. It has not had enough time to cook.
My intelligence check leads me to believe that I start chewing on it.
Yolmar,
All right.
someone else. I cannot with this.
Roll me a Constitution save.
That I will actually do probably pretty well.
Nope.
Not terrible. Not terrible. I'm probably puking.
Yeah, Yomar,
I'm a half orc, so.
Yomar munches into flesh, a little bit stringy, but hey, this is the most disgusting thing anybody else has ever seen. Yomar feels fine.
Mulaney, can you please?
I'm going to rip the arm out of Yolmar's hand.
Morgan's just rubbing the bridge of her nose.
This is... so I'm guessing it's a contested athletics?
Yeah, you can, you can pull it out of his hands if Yomar wants to, keep it. He can, try and, contest the check. Otherwise, you can just, let it go.
Oh, wow.
Alright.
Shit.
Yeah. Yomar is going to keep this hand and, just go, ham on it.
Go ham on it, thank you.
Oh.
Yolmar, we do not eat people. Those were people.
Tastes like chicken.
Oh,
Alright.
Old person.
It's pulled person.
You're casting hold person on him?
No, pulled person. It's like pulled pork, but it's pulled person.
No, he's holding person. I'm also holding.
Alright, roll
Damn
me
it.
a will save for Yomar. I think it's DC 14 to beat,
No, it's DC 13.
Oh, 13.
So it's just a D12
It is a will save.
or D20.
Yes.
Will save.
Yeah, it's a wisdom save.
Wisdom save.
Oh, I'm sorry, wisdom. I always, I'm playing in a Pathfinder campaign right now, and I always
And
forget,
you are now paralyzed.
Yeah, Yomar falls over. He's still conscious, but he's paralyzed, and he can't move his body. He can't say anything, but he can move his eyes around and still see everything.
Taking the arm away from Yolmar and throwing it in the fire.
The party does not want Yolmar eating right now. Not a good time to do that. It's very weird his body stopped working all of a sudden, though. Probably not a good idea to eat stuff the party doesn't want him to eat. Maybe. Just maybe. Anyways, though, yeah, you guys can monitor this fire. The whole person wears off after, I think, a minute duration.
Yes.
I'm not going to try and fight it. It's okay. I'm not going to try and reach in again.
You see, Yolmar, that is what happens when you do not listen to us. They had magic all over them. You could have been poisoned.
Morgan will just nod, like she didn't do it.
This is an episode of Caillou.
Yeah, Arya totally gives Morgan a wink.
Thank you.
Milani is now going to go into the water and start washing the blood and ichor off of himself from his.
Arya helps out and just prestidigitation.
Unsoiling garments and clothes and everything else. You guys can monitor this fire for you can monitor this fire for as long as you want. Takes it about 2 hours completely to for the bodies to become part of the skull, or part of the coal, and all that's left is the bones. The fire doesn't get hot enough, especially with the winds, or consistent enough to burn the bones to ashes. But for the most part, after about 2 hours, you guys have a simmering pile of coals and pale white, ashen white bones on top of what's left of your fire.
Arya would poke one of the bones with a stick just to make sure there are no markings on it. It's
hard to tell. But from as much as you can glean from it, the skeleton looks clear of it. Whatever that was on the skin.
Good deal.
Morgan, can you get some water to put this out?
I can. Can I just use shape water to throw ocean water on top of it?
Yes, you can. Ocean water is actually highly flammable. No, I'm kidding.
In this part of the world, it's not water; it's oil.
Yeah.
Due to the machination, due to that one time where Olivia was at the bottom of the ocean.
It's moving just after midday. It's moving just after midday by the time you guys get finished with all of this.
Yeah, and then probably spend 10 minutes just pushing some dirt and stuff into the hole to cover it.
Oh, by the way, Olivia, while you are taking care of this, I might have seen about getting us a job as guards out here, since there's a killer on the loose still.
What? Okay.
Well, it'll have to probably be Melanie or Yolmar.
Well, it cannot be me, alas.
And after last night, it probably can't be me.
That woman harbors the most grudges.
Melanie, do you want to Melanie, do you want to challenge me? I bet I can kill him first.
I'll take you on that bet, Yolmar.
I got 15 gold. And I almost think he has to do an intelligence check to know if he has 15 gold.
No, he's good. He's good. His gold hasn't changed since he last counted it.
I was concerned about him having some gold.
Yeah, he's set.
Well, we've promised Yolmar a couple times now to go to the fight pit. Just haven't had a chance to. So,
I think it is on the way home.
I thought we were about to be guards.
Well, we haven't been officially hired yet.
Oh, okay. To the fighting pits.
All right.
I could use a drink.
Yeah. It is 10:12. You guys are going to get to the fighting pits, and is everybody cool with ending here for the night, and then we'll pick up here next session?
It is in 1 week. It's not bad.
Alrighty. So, you guys are going to get to the fighting pits. After, settling down, going through the rigmarole to get registered into fight.
By the way, Brendan, I wanted to sign up as well.
Okay. Courier is going to find your guys' guild, as you're going to make quite the scene of, Yolmar coming back here. And it's not a very big town. So, in just like the 40 minutes you're here, people are going to start spreading the word of just like, oh man, the silver trees, entering the pits again. Like, they're going to...
The Shining Shovels! The Shining Shovels is here!
With that, a courier is going to find you guys and give you a leather satchel that he was told to deliver to you guys, and I'm going to roll a percentage die on the scene you guys are making and who he approaches. Alright. So, 100%.
I'm unshielding. I'm bringing out my shovels, by the way. I want to be shining as I come in there.
Yeah, so as you're getting set up here, Yolmar, the beautiful, gorgeous, just outstanding, shining person that he is, the one who's noticed by the courier. He gets this satchel. And the guy says he was, paid to deliver it and just goes on about his business. Does Yolmar open it?
Yolmar, what do you have there?
No. Yolmar inspects the leather because he's interested in the leather.
It is a higher quality than the leather that you have been crafting. If there's one thing Yolmar knows, it's good leather, and whoever this was went all out on this bag.
Alright, the bag is mine. Just laying that out there.
Oh,
I want this fine leather
How
bag.
about you dump the contents of the bag into Morgan's hands? Morgan, you have a bag for the contents so that Yolmar can take the pouch.
I'll empty it out for you. How about that? And I'll just hold on to it.
Do be gentle.
All right, Yolmar tips it.
Thank you for saying be gentle. Thank you for saying be gentle.
I've got you with the double entendres, buddy.
Yolmar tips it upside down, and there's a small jingling in it that just like peters out and falls out with a sheet of paper, or sheet of parchment falling out, nearly being caught by the winds that Yolmar is able to grab.
Archaea would make a dive for all of that.
Yeah, it is a silver chain in here, like a tiny necklace with a couple links on it to attach gemstones. There are no gemstones on it. The note is thanks. I owe you a lot. I owe you lots. Stones to come eventually. Sign Elmira.
That's
It is an IOU.
I swear to God.
Wait, did I get wait, is there a sweet, like, silver, like, necklace or bracelet or?
Yeah, there's a tiny this chain is less than a millimeter. No, it would probably be a millimeter thick, like less than a centimeter thick, like half a centimeter thick. Because I'm a dirty American who only knows our imperial measurements. It'd be like half a centimeter thick, like those tiny chains that you put around your neck for like a single gemstone. And there's like 8 areas on it for gemstones to be attached. Where those would be, there is nothing hanging there. The necklace itself is barren.
Arya would hand the note and the necklace over to Morgan and just kind of rub her temple. At least I have enough gold for a drink tonight.
I have a bag.
Morgan's gonna put on the necklace.
You just gotta count your wins.
And even do like the little sway to be like, okay, is that good? That looks good.
And we'll pick up there next session.
Yay!
Brendan, I wanna make a point that while Mulaney was cutting up the bodies, the 2 bodies that had like loose change and whatever on them, he's taken off them.
Okay. I'll go back and message you what you received. One body was complete. The cleric's body was completely picked barren.
Yeah.
All right. So, experience for tonight.
We are doing experience.
Yeah, you guys are at level 4. So let me look real quick at something. I have to do dose things.
Don't you want to do milestones, Brandon?
I'm going to do I'm going to do it like we've been doing the other campaigns. Give you guys milestone experience for each thing you get, unless you guys want to do milestones of leveling up. You guys can make that decision right now.
I have no strong opinions.
I vote towards experience-based, partially because I rolled really well.
I would agree with that. I think with it being a small group like this, that we're all starting at the same time, we can keep better track of our experience that way.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Pulling this up. God, it's been forever since I've had to look at this table. It's like I have all the information I need in my brain. And then, like as all the other campaigns and stuff that I've DM'd has progressed, I was like, oh, I don't need this anymore. I don't need this anymore, and I don't need this anymore. All right. So, I'm going to put you guys at 400 experience for this tier per element of the story that you encounter. So, Elmira was a pirate for the Ironwind Pirates. So one major thing. She was not the... there was a second killer at the docks. Another. The cleric was killed. I'll give you guys minor for, discerning that. And Nihilise is a NPC you guys are going to see a lot as long as you're in the same town with her. I'm going to give you guys in total for tonight 1,400 experience. That's 400, 400, 400, and 200. What
was our starting point given we're level 4?
Your starting experience should be 2,700.
I'm sorry, what was that?
2,700. Then additionally, inspiration to Arya and inspiration to Yolmar.
Yes.
For tonight. And then your guys' next session is every single... Oh my god, we can't play next session. It's Friday the 13th.
Oh, we should totally play next session.
Super play next session.
Yeah, I
If
myself...
anything, we should play longer next session.
Yeah, I myself am not a... I don't put much stock into superstition. But... you know, for the superstitious people that are actually out there, I would be okay with rescheduling, but no, we're diving in. So, next,
Yolmar's a half, or is a half buck on his side.
And
Yeah.
Yolmar is going to dig into it.
next
Thank
session
you.
is going to be a super spooky session. I did not know it was Friday the 13th, and I'm glad I gave you guys a murder plot line. Gosh, that's gonna be fun! Look at how accidentally well that worked out. Alright. I'm ending the broadcast there. Thank you for everybody who was watching. Enjoy your night.